What if everything you thought you knew about the Diddy trial just fell apart? What if a powerful and trusted name like Bishop T.D. Jakes stepped into the spotlight, not as a bystander, but as a truth teller, and dropped bombshell secrets that could shatter the case from the inside out? Stay with me, because what's about to be revealed isn't just shocking, it's a game changer. You won't believe the names that have now been linked to Diddy's so-called dark circle. This is where the truth turns darker than anyone imagined. Welcome back, everyone. Today's story dives deep into one of the most explosive and controversial legal sagas of the decade, the Diddy trial. Just when the headlines started to settle, Bishop T.D. Jakes, a name revered in both the spiritual and public spheres, shattered the silence. In a bold and unexpected move, he exposed a list of names he claims are tied to what insiders are now calling Diddy's dark circle. This revelation isn't just some tabloid gossip, it threatens to dismantle the very foundation of the case, sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry, the justice system, and spiritual communities. What happened next? A public firestorm, a behind-the-scenes scramble, and a deeper unraveling of truths hidden for far too long. To understand the gravity of these revelations, we need to rewind and take a closer look at the Diddy trial itself. For months, this case has dominated news cycles. At its heart are serious allegations that reach far beyond one man's reputation. According to court documents and leaked affidavits, Diddy, the mogul once celebrated as a kingmaker in the music industry, is accused of operating within a shadowy network, quietly manipulating events from behind the scenes. Some call it an empire. Others now refer to it as the Dark Circle. This group allegedly wielded influence over business deals, silenced dissent, and worked in the shadows to control outcomes in ways the public never saw. Until now. Enter Bishop T.D. Jakes. Respected pastor, global speaker, businessman, thought leader, and now, whistleblower? In a stunning development, Bishop Jakes went public with a revelation that insiders say law enforcement couldn't ignore. According to multiple sources and leaked insider memos, Jakes provided a list of high-profile individuals allegedly connected to Diddy's secretive inner circle. These are not just random names, they are deeply embedded figures in music, media, finance, and even spirituality. For Jakes to step into this firestorm signals just how serious and dangerous this situation might be. And the people he named? That's where this story takes a jaw-dropping turn. Let's talk about the list. One of the names on T.D. Jakes' list is a legendary music executive, someone who, despite being in Diddy's orbit for decades, has managed to keep their name out of legal headlines, until now. Sources claim this figure played a behind-the-scenes role in some of the more controversial business decisions that may be linked to the allegations. Then there's a media tycoon, a billionaire investor with deep roots in streaming platforms and entertainment conglomerates. Allegedly, this individual provided funding that may now be tied to questionable operations central to the trial. And in a twist no one saw coming, T.D. Jakes also named a fellow spiritual leader, a respected name in ministry who has ties to both Diddy and the industry elite. That last name sent shockwaves through church communities across the nation. This revelation is forcing people to ask, how far does Diddy's circle really reach? And if faith leaders are involved, what does that mean for accountability, trust, and truth in the church? The response was immediate. Several of the individuals named released public statements, carefully worded, tightly controlled, and heavily legal reviewed. Each denied involvement. Each claimed they were being unfairly targeted. But behind the scenes? Insiders describe a flurry of legal activity. Lawyers scrambled. PR teams worked overtime, and powerful allies began trying to discredit T.D. Jakes, questioning his motives, his timing, and even suggesting he fabricated the claims. But the public? They weren't buying it. Within hours, hashtags like #JusticeForVictims, #ExposeTheCircle, and #TDDropsTruth began trending across Twitter and TikTok. Some saw Jakes as a courageous truth-teller. Others questioned his role. Regardless, the world was now watching. And then, more voices started coming out of the shadows. Whistleblowers, former insiders, ex-employees. One individual, whose identity we're withholding for safety, described covert meetings, where media manipulation strategies were laid out, plans to silence victims, shift narratives, and neutralize any threats to the circle. Another former associate claimed they were paid hush money and threatened when they refused to stay quiet about an incident involving one of the now-named executives. If these accounts hold weight, it could open the door to a new round of investigations, and possibly criminal indictments. So what does this mean legally? Prosecutors are reportedly reviewing Jake's disclosures as potential leads. Several of the individuals named may be called to testify. Investigators are revisiting sealed documents, analyzing past financial records, and exploring whether new charges could be filed. On the other side, Diddy's defense team is already in high gear. They've filed motions to dismiss any evidence related to Jake's statements, labeling them hearsay and spiritually motivated opinion. But some legal experts say this won't be easy to ignore, especially if witnesses start corroborating Jake's claims, or if a financial trail leads directly back to Diddy's inner circle. This isn't just a legal storm. It's a cultural reckoning. How deep does this go? What happens when powerful people, in music, in ministry, in media, form alliances that manipulate justice and silence victims? Is this a one-time scandal or the tip of a much darker iceberg? This case has triggered deeper conversations across communities about trust, influence, and the thin line between power and corruption. For Diddy, the outcome of this trial could mean the end of his empire. For those named, it could mean public disgrace, lost careers, and potentially even prison time. But for the public? This is a reminder that even the most trusted names can be part of the machinery that keeps truth buried. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The truth is no longer hiding in the shadows. Thanks to voices like Bishop T.D. Jakes, and the brave individuals stepping forward, we are starting to see the machinery behind the fame, the fortune, and the silence. The Diddy trial is no longer just a celebrity case. It's a mirror being held up to the entire system, one that forces us to ask, who do we trust? And who's really pulling the strings? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives as this story develops.